welcome back, micro class. It is Wednesday, last one of the year, almost. Hump Day! May 19th, possibly, maybe, it's Thursday, May 20th, 2021. Either way, holy smokes, we are, a week away or less from the end of the school year. I'm thrilled, I'm excited, but probably not nearly as excited and happy as you are. Being that we are so close, we're going to take a look at what we got for the rest of this year. First, we'll start off with last class review. Last class, you had to show me some symbols, I believe. Is that correct? You had to give me, hey, it was a star sign, it was a slash, it was a subtraction sign, or a dash. Those were the symbols that you used. If you showed them to me or if you typed them out, that's fine. I know there was a little bit of questioning, like, what do you mean? It's the star for multiplication. Yeah, that's all you had to do. Show me the star, type in star. Could have even said asterisk, I guess. Point is, very simple questions. Upcoming classes. What do we got? Today and the rest of this year, 3 total. I'm doing the math in my head. Take a look. Today, the 19th and the 20th, whatever day it is for you. Today we're going to talk about functions in Excel. All right? Something called AutoSum. This is like basically doing addition for you. You know what a sum is. Sum is when you add up all the numbers. This is an amazing function. Whenever you use Excel, don't forget about AutoSum, baby. Trust me, it's legit. We're also going to learn how to find the minimum, maximum, average, and something called the count. It's a lot of stuff today. In fact, we're watching 2 videos, all right? 2 different videos on how to do this stuff. So it's a longer video today. It's going to be a longer video next class too. Next class, which is going to be Friday and Monday, the 21st and the 24th, we're talking about formatting. How to format different numbers. Sometimes you use Excel for money. Sometimes you use Excel for just regular numbers. Maybe you want a comma. Maybe you want a dollar sign. Maybe you live in England and you want a euro sign. I don't know. I don't know. Actually, I don't think England or London, they use the euro. Maybe you live in Italy and you need a euro sign. Maybe you live in England and you need the pound sign. There we go. But we're going to talk about formatting numbers as well as the design, making your Excel spreadsheets look good, okay? Not just white background, black numbers. We're going to kind of make it look a little bit better. We're going to show you how to make them look nice. Now, there's still a lot more of stuff you can do in Excel. And if we were here, we would have done probably about 15 more things. So I'm going to show you again on Friday or Monday the website, if you want to, where I'm getting these videos from so you can kind of train yourself with more things, creating graphs, creating charts, things like that. If you want to, it's a great website on YouTube. It's very easy to get to. And I'll give you that website on Friday or Monday. Then, finals, baby. Tuesday and Wednesday, that's it. Tuesday, A day, you got finals on the 25th. Wednesday, B day, finals on the 26th. Finals is going to be pretty simple. It's going to be 2 things. It's going to be a typing test in the typing club, so you got to do that. And it's also going to be about a 10-question test on things like Microsoft Word and Microsoft Excel. Simple questions, 10 questions, not hard. Half the grade, those 10 questions, half of your finals grade. Your typing test, boom, put them together. That's going to be your overall final grade. Then everything that you've done for the rest of this 6 weeks will be your 6-week grade. And that's that. So, hopefully, I explained this well enough so you have an idea of what we got going for the next week here. If you have any questions, let me know. But for now, let's go ahead and start taking a look at functions, specifically the old AutoSum, min, max, average, and count.
Hello and welcome to another tutorial for Excel users. In this part, we're going to start looking at creating functions, and functions are essentially predefined or built-in calculations in Excel. And we're going to look at a few of the more common ones here to give you an idea of how easy it is to access functions and to get them working for you. The first thing I'm going to do here is add some new labels to my spreadsheet. I'm going to actually come down to cell A11, so leave a blank row between the main data worksheet area and my function area. So I'm going to add some labels here now. The first one will be total. The second one will be average. The third one will be max, or short for maximum. Fourth one, min, short for minimum. The final one will be count. So these are the 5 functions we're going to create for our spreadsheet. So let's come to the first one then, and this one you've probably seen already in the overview. And to create the total, we're going to use the sum function, which is by far the most common function used in Excel. And it's simply a way of quickly adding up rows or columns of numbers. Now there's a few ways of creating a sum function, and I'm going to start by doing the manual version. So like any calculation in Excel, we begin with the equal sign, then simply type the name of the function you want to use. It doesn't matter whether you type with lowercase or uppercase to create the function, but once it's completed, Excel will automatically switch it to uppercase anyway, but when you're creating it, lowercase is fine. And as I've typed the word sum there, you'll see Excel is having a guess at what I'm trying to do, and so it's offered me a list of functions. The first one happens to be the one I want, but just for now I'm going to ignore this help dialog and simply continue typing. And the next thing I need to do is type an open bracket or open parentheses. As soon as I do that, Excel obviously understands the type of function I'm doing, and again it offers me some assistance here. It's looking for the numbers that I want to include in the function. Now, to do it manually, I need to identify the beginning and end of the range of numbers I'm going to include, and it's simply that column above. So my range begins in cell B3, so I can click on that. And now to separate the beginning value from the end value, I type a colon. Now don't worry that it says B3 to B3 at the moment, because I haven't yet selected my second value. I'm now going to click on B9 to tell Excel that's where my range of numbers ends, and then to tell Excel I've finished the function, I close the bracket or close the parentheses. And that essentially is the formula or the function. So it's equals the word of the function, the name of the function, sum in this case, and then between parentheses the range of values you want to include in that function, and that basically is the beginning cell reference and the end cell reference separated by a colon. So that's our function, and to accept that I'm going to press the enter key. If I come back now to that function, we will see in the formula bar, again we see that Excel has converted the lowercase to uppercase, so SUM is now uppercase characters, and obviously see the details of that function. Now if I double click on that function, you'll see something interesting. Excel will show me the range of numbers included in the function, which I can then modify if I want to by putting the mouse pointer over, say, the bottom right, and click and drag up. That reduces the number of cells included in the function, or I can click and drag down to extend the number of cells in the function. And another way of simply accepting that is to click on the tick, as you probably know, and again that just completes that calculation. So I'll do that one more time in the next cell along, in the rentals column. So it's equals sum, open parentheses, and this time, instead of selecting the first and then the last, I'm actually going to click and drag down. And that effectively does the same thing as manually clicking the beginning and then the end. And you'll see that Excel automatically puts the colon in there for me as well. So all I now have to do is just close that bracket. Again, press the enter key, and there again is the result. Come across to D11, I'm going to do the final sum calculation here. And this time I'm going to use the AutoSum feature in Excel, and we'll see what happens when I click the AutoSum button. So the AutoSum you will find on the right hand side of the Home tab, and if I just click that and we come back to the spreadsheet, you'll see what's happened. Basically, when you click AutoSum, Excel has a guess about what you want to add up. Now in this case, Excel has guessed incorrectly. It's guessing that I want the cells to the left adding up, which I do not want. So again, I can simply here reselect the correct range, click on the little tick, and that will accept that formula. And we can now see the result, and again the formula bar, the function details, D3 to D9 as the range of cells included in the calculation. So that is the process of creating a function. Now I'm going to delete those three that I've just created, and I'm going to show you something a little bit more interesting. I'll leave those cells selected there and just click on the AutoSum button one more time and let's see what happens. Hope you notice that Excel has correctly put the calculations in for all 3 cells. So with one click of the mouse, I've created 3 sum functions there. Do it one more time, just delete that, and this time I'll just pretend I'm somewhere else. Select the 3 cells that I want the result to appear in, click AutoSum, and in goes the result. Now, one minor problem here, you could argue, if I double click on that first one, you'll notice that Excel does include this blank cell at the bottom there, which may or may not be a problem. Now I can modify that if I want to by just putting the mouse pointer again in one of the corners, so I'll just move to the bottom left this time and then drag up to modify the range to exclude that blank row. Just click on the tick. It's debatable, it doesn't really matter whether it has that blank or not, the calculation won't be affected. However, if for some reason someone's going to put some values in there that you don't want to include in a calculation, then it is important to be precise with your calculations. In fact, what I'm going to do here is just press the escape key to cancel the edit and delete the second and third sum function. Click back onto my first one, which if I double click you'll see it does include the correct range. Again, just press the escape key to cancel that edit. Put the mouse pointer over the bottom right and this time just drag across into the next 2 cells, and again that completes the calculations for columns C and D. And if I double click now on C11 as it is, you'll see it's got the correct range. Press escape to cancel that, and again double click on D11. You'll see it's got the correct range there again. Press the escape key one more time. And as you will have noticed in the calculation tutorial, as I copy across, Excel automatically updates, in this case, the column letter. So it's going from B3 to C3 to D3, etc. So it automatically updates the column letter as I copy across using a thing called relative cell referencing, which in most cases is exactly what we want to have happen. So that concludes this look at the sum function, which you should all be experts in by now. In the next tutorial, we're going to start creating the average, max, min, and count functions. So thank you for watching this tutorial. Hope you found something useful there, and see you next time.
I am a first-generation student here at Bellevue University. I feel like
Hello and welcome to another tutorial for Excel users, and here we're continuing to look at Excel functions. The next function we're going to look at is the average function. I'm going to click into cell B12 there, and I'm going to create the function manually. Now you'll notice that the function follows the same format as the sum function, so you start as you would any calculation by pressing the equals key, give the name of the function, and in this case it's average, so simply type out the function. As soon as you begin to type the function, Excel will recognize you're doing that and offer you some assistance, and as you see here it tells you not only the name of the function or guess of the name you're trying to type, and also tells you what that function will actually do. And of course, in the case of an average function, which is equivalent to the mean in this case, we add up a range of numbers and then divide by the number of values in that range. So once we've typed the name of the function, we do an open parentheses or open bracket, and what we need to do is simply select the range of values to include in the function. At this stage you could, if you wish, select a second range of numbers, but that isn't applicable here. I'm simply going to close the bracket, close parentheses, and then I'll just press the enter key to complete that function. I'm going to click into C12. This time I'm going to get Excel to guide me through it using a built-in function wizard. And to do that, one way of achieving it is to click on this FX button here, and you notice it says insert function, and I click on that, and what I get is this dialog box. And you'll notice it does have a range of functions, standard ones already to choose from, and average just happens to be the first one there. You've also got sum and others we may be using later on, count and max, I've noticed in the list, for example. You can select a category of functions here, And the average function, along with the max, min and count functions, are actually all found in the statistical function category. So if I select that, you'll see I get a larger list of functions, but these are all in the statistical function category. And you notice average is there in the list, the second one down. So just click OK. And when you do that, you get a second dialog. I'm just going to move this to one side so you can see the cell we're working in. And you'll see I have two number boxes. Again, you have the option of applying additional ranges if you wish to the function. In this case, I simply want to select the one range. So to do that, I'm going to click into the spreadsheet and just drag down the range of values. And you'll see as I do that, so if I just sort of click and drag up and down, you'll see that the range of values in the selection changes automatically as I select. Once I'm happy that I've got the correct range, release the mouse button, the function argument dialog resizes to its original shape. And before I click OK, I'll just point out that you can actually see the results of the function before you finalize it. So you can go ahead and reselect if you want to do that. So click OK. There we have the result. For the final average function, I'm going to use another option, and that's to go to the Formulas tab. Click on that, and again you'll see we have this section here that's called the function library. And on the left hand side of the toolbar, you'll notice we have the insert function, a larger version than the one that's on the formula bar, but does the same thing. We also have AutoSum, and there's a drop down button on AutoSum that gives you access to some of the more common functions and also an option to go and open that function wizard dialog. You have the most recently used functions here. As I move along, you'll see the different types of functions available in Excel, and some of those we'll be looking at in this course. To get to the statistical list, I click on More Functions, and it's actually the first option on those additional functions, and I come across and there's average again. So I simply click on that. Again, we get the helper dialog. I can click and drag down to select the range of numbers. You should be familiar with that by now. Get a little preview of the answer. Click OK once I'm happy. And there we are, there's the result. So as you will see, there are many different ways of achieving the same result. If I go back to the Home tab, you'll probably find for most of what you do, the easy thing to do is simply use the Insert Function button to locate the function that you need, or in the case of the sum function or average or the more common functions, typing it out is probably just as quick. That completes this look at the average function. The next stage in completing this spreadsheet is to complete the functions in rows 13, 14 and 15. So the first of these we'll create is the max function, short for maximum, and we'll type it out manually. So in this case we'll type out equals max. Open the bracket, and again you'll see that Excel has guessed the type of function we're doing, gives us some prompts. And as before, I simply select the range of cells I want to include in the function, close parentheses, and this function basically looks down this list and finds the largest value. So if I press the enter key now, you'll see it comes up with 2.5, and if we look at that list, you'll see 2.5 does occur more than once, but it is the highest value that features in that list. So if we come across now to C13, I'll do the same function, but I'll use the insert function. So come up to the formula bar, little FX button there to the left, click on that. We get the insert function dialog. Now you'll notice that the most recently used is already active, and if I look in that list you'll see max is there. If, however, yours doesn't show max, go to the drop-down box where it says Select Category, click on Statistical, and scroll down to where the M's are. In fact, actually you don't need to do that. If I just press the letter M on my keyboard, you'll see it jumps straight to the M's, and max happens to be the first one, so I simply click OK. And the next dialog wants me to select the range of cells to include, so I'm going to click and drag down, this time in column C, from C3 down to C9, and just click OK. And there we find that the highest value is 12. And again, the number 12 does occur twice in that list. Okay, I'm going to leave the third one for now and come down to the min function. And it's literally the opposite of max. So equals min, open parentheses, select the range of values, close parentheses, and this time I'll click on that little tick up there, and we get 1.5, and as you may have guessed, min finds the lowest value in the range. So again, come across to C14. Use the insert function option this time, so click the FX there. Click into the list of functions in my statistical section, press the letter M, and I'm on max at the moment. Just scroll down a bit further, and there's min, click OK. I now need to select the range again, so click and drag down to select the range of values, click OK, and again, using those two different methods, we get the result that we want. And always remember, you can just check in the formula bar to see the details of the formula. Obviously, you see the actual result on the spreadsheet. And finally here, we'll complete the count function. And again, this time I can type it out manually, equals count, open the bracket there, click and drag down the range, close parentheses or bracket as I like to say, press enter, and it tells me that there are 7 values in that list. I'll do the same thing in the rentals column, and once more use the insert function option there, and this time we're looking for count. It is in the statistical list, so just click in that list there, press the letter C this time. If I scroll down a little bit further, we will find count appears. There we are. Select that function, click OK, and it follows the same process as all the functions. We simply select the range of values that we want to include. Excel automatically puts the brackets around for us. Click OK, and again we have the result there. Coincidentally, it's the same, obviously, because each of these columns has 7 values. So there we are. So we've completed those last 3 functions fairly quickly. Max or maximum, min or minimum, and count, which simply counts the number of values. Now finally, I want to complete the entries in the last 3 cells there, and to do that I'm going to select the ones I have in column C, so cells C13 to C15, just put the mouse pointer at the bottom right there and drag across, and it effectively duplicates those 3 functions into column D, but using the relative cell referencing, updates the formulas to include the D column values as opposed to the C column values. So that's the benefit of Excel, is that you can create one set of formulas and simply copy across a set of columns or set of rows and save you an awful lot of time. That completes this first look at Excel functions. Hope you found something useful there. In the next tutorial, we're going to start looking at formatting spreadsheets. So thank you for watching this one, and see you next time.
All right, there it is. Quite a bit of information there. Longer video, not too tedious though. Pretty all right. 2 videos together, no big deal, right? I hope. Here's what we got for the assignment today. Very simple. It's based on exactly what you just watched. You are going to do the following. Explain to me step by step, basically give me step-by-step directions how to create the functions you just learned about. So there are 5. The AutoSum, the minimum, the maximum, the count, and the average. Now let's assume I already have, 10 numbers in my spreadsheet. So you don't have to say, first you need to put in 10 numbers in. No. I've got my numbers in my spreadsheet. Go. Tell me how those 10 numbers, I can find the AutoSum. Give me step-by-step directions. What do I need to do? Can't just click the AutoSum button. The AutoSum button's going to be like, oh, what do you want me to AutoSum? So take me through step by step. Now they'll be very similar. AutoSum might be a little bit different than the other 4. The final 4 will be very similar, so I know it'll be repetitive. But for each one, I want you to give me step-by-step directions. So either write it down, type it up. Number 1, AutoSum. First you would do blank. Then you do blank. Then you do what? Done. For the minimum, number 2, first you are going to yada, 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 whatever the first step is. Then you are going to yada, yada, yada. Make sure you have all 5 of them. Make sure you have them completely. 20% for each one. 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. You do all 5, you do it correctly. 100% on the assignment today. And that is it. That's it. If you have any questions or need any help, email me. Let me know. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. If not, you guys have a great rest of your Wednesday and Thursday. Dos más classes left, amigos. Whew. Let's get it. Have a great day.